Yo, 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 yo. What's the deal? It's your boy Jason Gooner. We're back in the studio, people, and it's time for another EPL week review show. Sorry, preview show. Preview show. The games are tomorrow. Yes, preview show. So we are back for another one of those people. You know how we do it here, people. You have to like, share, and subscribe to the content. It is very, very important. It's the best way for us to grow the channel, get into the algorithm, that people know we are live, ready to talk some football. Of course, you know, on this channel, we encourage the banter. So please, in the comment section, drop your thoughts, cheer for your teams, let your rival fans know that they're going to lose this weekend. Even if your team not playing, you can still banter your rival. Same way. My squad, Arsenal, has the weekend off. You know, we have a big encounter on Tuesday, people. So when we do the review show on Sunday night, we will be back to preview that Champions League match with PSG, also the other semi-final, Barcelona and Inter. Yes, people. This week I won't be able to live stream that one, but second leg for sure. We'll be here on Gooner TV to bring you that second leg Champions League matchup. Hopefully, that is when we see Arsenal reach to the final, people. But tonight we have some business to take care of, and also as a bonus, people, you know, it's FA Cup semi-final weekend. That's why my team Arsenal is not playing. We played Crystal Palace, who would have played this weekend earlier in the week. So we're going to definitely predict and preview the two FA Cup matches as well. All right, people. So this week we're going to have a little spice to the predictions because there's two FA Cup fixtures to do. So we'll have a total of 9 matches to predict. All the people that usually tune in for the predictions, yes, that's still going to happen, people. And we have almost a full slate of games to do. So yes, we're still going to run the show just like always. All right. So we're going to pull up the injury news, look at that, go through all the team news, and then we're going to look at the matchups, look at the team form, how these teams usually fare against each other. You know the format of the show, people. If you're not familiar, please do stick around, get familiar, because this channel is only going to grow from here, people. Yeah, man. Big up BBK Sports. Yes, man, saying can't believe YouTube no notify him said this even exists. Him I wonder how him not see this. Big up yourself, my G. Thanks for tuning in. Come on, you gooners, you don't know the thing set. Yeah, so we are back again, people, for another preview show. As I said, as soon as you enter the building, like up the video, share, and subscribe. As a matter of fact, let me do my job. I have one more place. Well, a few more places. So I want to send this. Yeah, man, the people them need to know so we're there. I talk some football. They don't know the thing. Go! We are run out kind of late tonight, but people, it's a family life, you know? Sometimes you have to run out when you can run out. I say it go. You have to run out when you can run out. Yeah, man, people. So anybody that is still up can tune in and we can have the discussion. Of course, if you're catching this, you see it later and say, John, I missed the live. If you want to be a part of the predictions, just drop your predictions in the comments. I will add them to the weekly picks. There are a few predictors that always make sure to check in that way. They don't always available for the live content, but when they see that we did a show, they drop their picks and they're always in there. Sometimes they're the champs, other times they're the donkey of the week, you know, the thing go. It is chance, you know. It can act as if there's some big science to it, but in reality, it's one big game of chance. Yeah, but you know, the Premier League season, sad to say, people, it's gonna come to an end officially this week in terms of the champions. I believe Liverpool will win this game against Tottenham and become champions this weekend. So congrats to Liverpool from early. I've congratulated them now a good month or so because I knew from the result, forget which result it was. I think it was the West Ham game. Yeah, the West Ham game. From that game, I knew that was it. So yeah, we have been congratulating them, but it's going to be official after this weekend. But the top 5 race is still going to be quite intriguing, people. So that's going to be really the bulk of the excitement for the rest of the Premier League season. A lot of teams pretty much resigned to not being relegated or not being able to reach to Europe. But, those basically, I would say 6 teams battling for 4 spots. When you talk about, and Arsenal maybe 3 points away from saying, yes, for sure, they'll be in the top 5. But more than likely, you can book them as well. But in terms of from 3rd place all the way down to 7th, it's not really set in stone which of those 5 will make up the rest of the 3 to go to the Champions League. So that's going to be intriguing to look at and watch. Last week I made my picks. We're going to see if my picks still make sense after last week's games, because we're going to look at the table. But yeah, we are doing all of that and much more tonight, people. So strap in, get ready, and it's time now to have a look at all the team news going into this weekend. All right. We have some news from probably, the most expensive player in FPL. Haaland is nearing a return. But first, we're going to head to Old Trafford, and there's some bad news as far as Dalot is concerned. So let's show you guys that news on Dalot. Diogo Dalot, the Portuguese international, suffered an injury that will force him onto the sidelines. The Portugal international, a real stalwart in the team, has suffered a calf problem. He's out of Sunday's Premier League trip to Bournemouth, but he faces a fight to be fit before the campaign draws to a close next month. So that's not good news for Amorim. Of course, they're still fighting in the Europa League. Made it all the way to the semifinals, actually. So, and he's been a key part of everything they've got going on. Amas has been playing of late more minutes, so it looks like he'll have to play some more. Dorgu, I know, has been in and out of the team, with injuries himself. So it's going to be tough, but Amorim will try to find the solutions. They say there's a possibility, but they're going to have to check week by week because he works really hard. He can recover quite well, so we will see. He has a problem with the muscle in his calf. He had a sequence of games he played all the time. We tried to manage what some of the players have to play a lot of minutes, and we have to protect the ones that we think are not so ready to cope with that. But Dalot felt something. So, he's kind of almost saying like the way how we played him every single game, every single minute probably caused this injury. But basically he's saying, some of the players just have to play all the minutes because they're who we have in certain areas. And you can definitely see on the wing back side of things, with no Luke Shaw, a lot of other players out injured. Lisandro Martinez out, which moves somebody like a Mazraoui into the central area and not as a wing-back option. So there's a lot of reasons for Dalot having to play all the time. And, Amorim kind of acknowledging that could have played a part in this injury. So not good news for Red Devils fans. I think he has been one of the mainstays in the team. I think he kind of divides opinion amongst United fans, but I would say he probably gets more ratings than people bashing him as far as Diogo Dalot in that team, I would say. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I don't think he's a player that Man United fans hate. You know what I'm saying? He might be one of the few that maybe they think he has a bit of consistency in him. He gets cussing, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure people would say they want to upgrade on him, but I think that's a bit harsh because he's one of the more solid performers, I think, for United over the years. I know that's not saying much, but yeah, I don't think he's terrible. Guardiola gives update on Ederson, Haaland, and Rodri fitness ahead of their semi-final match. So, like I said, people, we're going to talk about the semi-finals today as well in the show. I know it's an EPL show, but we're going to include the 2 FA Cup matches in our predictions and preview. All right. So the goalkeeper hasn't featured in our last 2 games after a second half substitution during the 5-2 victory over Palace earlier this month. Stefan Ortega Moreno has deputized excellently for our victories over Everton and Aston Villa, and the German remains in contention to start in our 7th successive FA Cup last 4 tie at Wembley this weekend. Asked whether Ederson will play against Forest, Guardiola said, "We'll see. Eddie is coming back training a little bit, but I don't know if he'll be ready for this game. Hopefully the next one." The boss was then unequivocal in stating that there are no fresh injury concerns since Tuesday's dramatic defeat of Villa. Rodri hasn't played since last September. Every training session he does with us, he does well. But I don't know. Rodri wants to play, but the doctor will have to say, Pep, you have green light to give him minutes. I want to rely on the doctors in that case. So it looks like Rodri might actually play before the season done. Meanwhile, there was also positive news about Haaland, with the boss stating that the Norwegian is improving day by day. He feels better. I said before, I don't know when. It's not a comfortable injury. You have some twist in your ankle and then taping. It's not comfortable. He's not a small guy, but he's getting better step by step. Still, he doesn't train with the team, but we will see how he does. All right. So basically, looks like they have some injuries still that they're not going to get back. Rodri, Haaland, probably weren't expecting them to be back. Ederson looks like he's pretty close. Maybe he pulls a fast one and plays in the game. He just said, we'll see when asked who would start the game. Pep historically, though, does play the second keeper in the cup. So even if Ederson is fit to play, I think chances are he would play Ortega anyway. But let's see. Decent news for them. No fresh injuries is probably the best thing. Blessings, Chile, Wagwan. Yeah, only my side alone, I'm not have to predict this week. Your side, we're going to do the FA Cup as well. So no worry, you don't get me. You should feel confident though. Team are win games of late. All right, so let's take a look now at the news out of Stamford Bridge, Enzo Maresca and Chelsea, as he gave us the team news heading into the weekend. Injury suffered at Fulham by Malo Gusto is not a long term, although the right back won't be in contention. All right, so Gusto is out. Mark Guew won't be back, but he's back in training, it looks like. So Marlowe is injured, but not an important injury. He's running and doing things outside, but won't be available for tomorrow's game. Still has the long-term injuries going on. Mark back on the grass, kicking the ball. That's good for them. So Romeo Lavia, who has been in the last squad or so, said he's actually can get some minutes now. He was on the bench against Fulham. He was on the bench in other games recently. He's back. He's training with us. With Romeo, we'll try the same things we are doing with Reece James. It is important that we use them carefully, going step by step and taking things slowly. Reece is doing well. He's playing 2 games every few days now, and he's holding up well across games in the Conference League and the Premier League. We'll try to do the same with Romeo. The sixth-place Blues go into tomorrow's clash with Everton, knowing victory would see us finish the weekend in the Champions League qualifiers with at least 5 spots up for grabs this season, and 3 of the teams around us, Villa, Forest, and City, all in FA Cup semi-final action. That is very true. So the teams, the team in 5th, who's in 5th right now? City is 3rd, Forest is 4th. Newcastle. So Newcastle and Chelsea, they have a chance this weekend to, feel good about life. Just get that step up on everybody else because they're not playing. And it's so tight that it will make a difference, So basically, that's the team news there. Gusto is out. Certain long-term injuries getting closer, but Gusto is out. That's the main news for the game against Everton. Should be a tough matchup for Chelsea. Everton under Moyes have proven to be tough to beat, Now we go to news out of Newcastle, as Newcastle will be hosting relegation threatened, well, should just say relegated Ipswich at this point. Eddie Howe says on the road to recovery. He's back, at least at training and everything. Said I'm okay. I'm not 100%, but 100% in my mind. It's been difficult. Feel like I'm the road to recovery. Glad to be back. Backroom staff and the running. Okay, so Batman and Stars Fitness. Sven has trained well this week. It's great to see him back with the group and on the grass. A really big step. Fabian, we hope will be okay. On his side's final 5 matches, it's a massive 5 games for us. There's no denying that. We knew what position we are in and what we need to do. The players are focused. I have seen a good reaction from them. The next game is so important. All right, so that's basically it. So Fabian Schär looks like it's gonna be a game time one. All he basically said is he hopes he's okay. So I don't know what much to take from that. News out of Fulham: Rodrigo Muniz is out. Not good for my fantasy draft team. And Smith Rowe is back in. And Wan-Bissaka is available again for Brighton trip for West Ham. So that's really all the team news, all the changing team news. Everybody else who has been long term looks to still be out. So yeah, let's get right into the first fixture of the weekend. So how I'm going to run it, people, I'm going to do the Saturday games first. So the final game of Saturday will be the first FA Cup semi-final, which is Liverpool and Tottenham. Remember Liverpool and Tottenham. The first FA Cup semi-final, which is Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. My bad. So yeah, we're gonna do that game after we do the 5 Premier League games on Saturday. One game early morning or afternoon kickoff in England, and then there's 4 games in that 10 o'clock or 3 p.m. window in England. So yeah, we're gonna do it that way, and just do the game Saturday, then do the game Sunday, and then we'll call it a night for the show. All right, people. So remember, please do smash the like button, share, subscribe. Do bless up yourself. I don't think we lose a game from April. Let it stay that way. Well, we're gonna see. I think Forest haven't been as good as they have been all season of late. So, last game was maybe the best they looked in a few. And I guess, Chris coming back made a big difference. Have you been following the controversy with Real Madrid and the refs? Yes, I actually have. I saw some clips today where, it was rumored that Real Madrid weren't going to play the match now that the guy had made those comments and all these things. But then they came out and said they wouldn't mess with the integrity of the game by not showing up and all kind of madness. But I don't know why Real Madrid, the club, is standing behind comments of a comment section from their like fan TV channel or whatever. I mean, I know that that Madrid TV is actually sponsored, like it's a part of the club, but at the same time, they can't really control what the the commenters would put in the comment section. I don't think why tight. This guy. This early morning Chelsea hate watch should be good. For real. Yeah, that's one thing, like, I mean, I'm disappointed that Arsenal not playing because I love to watch my side play. But like, it's just like I'm feeling like better about even doing the show because I don't have to worry about that. Bless up Flo to go on. I swear if this Arteta guy lose him, I forget. They say you're not accepting defeat to PSG. I understand, Skull. What Real Madrid is doing is actually pretty sickening. Yeah, I mean, look. It's tough. Yeah, so for anybody that not really following along with the whole controversy before the final, basically Real Madrid, kind of demanded, well, not kind of, they demanded that a new refereeing crew was up for the match. And I think this is like we can have a segue, segue and talk about this for a second. So this is just an article from CBS Sports. This is actually what I read earlier today. So on the eve of the Copa del Rey final, Real Madrid are set to cancel their open training, press conference, and club dinner. This is in response to the referees not being changed for the final, which will take place Saturday in Sevilla. Real Madrid feels that statements by González Fuertes should disqualify him from being able to oversee the final. Real Madrid asked for referee change, but it was denied. During a press conference in the lead up to the final, the two spoke out about the abuse that he has received for overseeing the match, including from Real Madrid's own TV network, Real Madrid TV, with González Fuertes referencing the TV network. I'm going to talk about those videos. More than what's being said, it's the consequences of what's being said. We're seeing anonymous people on social media insulting and threatening without any control. Official club social media managers are continually attacking our community, in addition to player actions, statements that give rise to the belief that we're not being honest in our decisions. The consequences are that when you talk about theft and bad language, the frustration you generate in the fans is paid for by the little boy or girl who grabs a whistle and has to officiate a child's game. It's the consequence of putting the target on a teammate's head. It's good and healthy for everyone to return to a healthier style of football. Real Madrid has had numerous issues with refereeing this season, releasing an open letter in February claiming that Spanish refereeing is rigged and completely discredited. Los Blancos have released an official statement ahead of the match in which they double down, requesting that the referee is changed ahead of the match. Real Madrid CF considers the public statements made today by the referees designated for the Copa del Rey final, scheduled to be held tomorrow, April 26, 2025, to be unacceptable. These protests, which have surprisingly focused attention on videos from a media outlet protected by freedom of expression such as Real Madrid TV, deliberately carried out 24 hours earlier against one of the final's participants, demonstrate once again the clear and manifest animosity and hostility of these referees towards Real Madrid. Even more surprising statements in a threatening tone alluding to the referees' unity were used to announce alleged measures of action that fall far short of the principles of fairness, objectivity, and impartiality that should prevail just hours before a football event that captures the attention of hundreds of millions of people around the world. Given the seriousness of what happened, Real Madrid hopes that those responsible for the RFEF and the refereeing body will react accordingly, adopting the necessary measures to defend the prestige of the institutions they represent. My name said the ref can't impartial, brother. Man, have to change. But yeah, this just goes on to talk about previous issues they had and all that stuff. And basically, so yeah, this is where they said they were going to protest. Now, since this article has come out, I have read on numerous places that, that was never going to be a plan of action for Real Madrid, as they care too much about the competition and the seriousness of it. So they said they were never going to not play the game, but that was the posture they were taking. It's Madrid. I ain't surprised. Real Madrid moving like they control the football. I'm realizing now that they have been doing it every match this season. Yeah, basically, that article is saying previous issues that wrote letters like numerous times this season. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. The same team that boycott the Ballon d'Or because them baller lost. Yes, that same team. They need to be sanctioned for real. I don't. Does a sanction really hurt them though? I mean, unless it's like a ridiculous amount. Honestly, them feel away because Barca gonna win them. Yo, that's the thing, Them are worry about referee and I worry about this and that. They need to figure out how for that get 5-2 and 4-love on these big score they get this season so far. Them get 3-love from Arsenal, 4-love from Barca, 5-2 from Barca. Madrid trying to create an excuse for the beatdown negative. That article under the story real justice. Yeah, man, me see the press conference where the ref a ball, man. That's what made me try to find articles. And I just did find that CBS Sports one. But Al Jazeera, Barca win the most Copa del Rey, 31. But Real Madrid have the slight edge in finals against them. Should be a good game still. I think it's in the, I don't think it's still like 3 o'clock. So it should be after the FA Cup semi-final done, which is nice. I want to see that one day. What are your thoughts on Promise David? He recently switched nationality to Canada. I think he's a player we should keep our eyes on for club and country. Yeah, man. Promise David is talented, man. Canada not ramping because you see what I like about Canada, right? The man them have strikers, you know. The man them have Kyle Larin, the man them have Jonathan David, but Promise David is a talent. So the man them say, yo, Promise David forward. Daniel Jebison talent. Man say Jebison forward. See Jebison just get cap with it. And David I lead the Belgian league in goals. So I'm telling you people, or if he's not leading, he's close to the top. Only 23 as well. Jebison young too. So a lot of times, you hear with our team, oh, we're good in another spot. No, stockpile, brother. Have options. You see me? And that's what you see Canada doing. That referee was damn soft to be crying out like that. He needs to man up. Yeah, the man take it to, family thing and how him kids look upon him and all kind of something. So yeah, man say it unfair, brother. Man say him just a try do him job and people are telling him say him a thief. Bro, if Arteta lose to this PSG team, I'll be the ending of him at the carpet. Red Skull, why though? What, you don't think this PSG team is good? You don't think they're a decent team? You don't think they're a good team? Like, why if we lose to PSG, Arteta must get fired? Come on, Skull. Canada building a very good squad. That is a fact. The man them not stopping, brother. I'm gonna get them people in. Impressive, It's impressive. All right, people, let's get back into. Yeah, me don't want him lose neither, but brother, me not gonna say if him lose. I mean, now if we lose like how Real Madrid lose to like we get 5-6-1 pan aggregate, then Jano, maybe. Yeah, Morocco been do it. All right, so let's get to the Premier League action. So, had Chile call it a early morning, hate along. You see it? I'll be on the road, people. Probably listening to the game more than watching. Julie have game a morning, so if I hit the road, basically when that game I kick off. But won't be the first time taking the football in the car, But this is pretty common game in the Premier League. 65 times this match has happened in the Premier League era, that is. 29 wins for Chelsea, 14 for Everton with 22 draws. Everton have only beaten Chelsea one time at Stamford Bridge in the history of the Premier League. That is a crazy stat. Everton drew 0-0 earlier in the season. That was around Christmas time. But the last time they came to the Bridge, it was not a good day for them. They ended up getting 6-0 on that occasion. I think, was this the day when Cole? Yeah, this was the 4-goal day from Cole. What's that thought? Yeah, so not good the last time they came to the Bridge. Definitely don't see a 6-0 on the cards in this matchup. A lot has changed since then, but Everton of late, they hadn't had many losses at all. They were racking up the draws for a long time, but they were unbeaten for a while until they faced Liverpool and City, two of the stronger teams in the league. Away to Liverpool, they lost 1-0. Played well in that game though, but they did draw Arsenal in this time, and they also beat, at the time, a third place Nottingham Forest 1-0 at the City ground. They lost last time out to Man City 2-0, but I thought they actually played decent in that game too. Chelsea, last 5, they're unbeaten in their last 4 with 2 wins and 2 draws. Their last loss came at the Emirates, a 1-0 defeat to Arsenal, but they are coming off of a 2-1 victory away to Fulham when they turned the tide late to score 2 goals after being down 1-0 since the first half. Chelsea right now in 6th position, but as the table will show a little later in the show, this win could catapult them right up back into the top 5, as a lot of those teams in those spaces are dormant as they play FA Cup semifinals. Chelsea have double the amount of wins of Everton over the season. Everton do have 5 more draws. Everton only 3 more losses than Chelsea's 8 over the course of the season. Goals scored per match, Chelsea at 1.76, Everton 1.03. Both teams have averaged exactly the same amount of goals conceded, 1.21. Everton have 10 clean sheets to Chelsea's 8. Chances created per match, basically one chance advantage for Chelsea, 2.52, 1.55 for Everton. Chelsea's biggest win was a 6-2 at Wolves, and the biggest defeat was a 3-0 away to Brighton. Everton lost 4-0 away to Spurs and also beat Wolves 4-0. So they both like to beat Wolves by 4 goals. Palmer on 14 and 8 assists, but he's been on that since, I would say, the turn of the year. Was on pace to have a huge season in terms of numbers, but has basically stalled at 14 goals, 8 assists. Did miss a penalty recently as well. But, to be honest, Cole Palmer, it seems like a matter of time, especially since Nico Jackson is back playing. You can see Chelsea is creating a bit more. Even though that Fulham game, they were down 1-0, I didn't think they were playing so badly. And in a way, you could almost sense that they were going to get something out of that eventually. And they were able to find the 2 goals. But look, I would love to hate on Chelsea because it's fun, But I don't know. Some of that magic that Everton was having recently, I just feel like it's not the same as of late. Maybe, now that they're kind of fully safe and, they can't really get anywhere in the season, maybe it's taking a bit of something out of the team, but they're still very stingy to score goals against. So I don't think Chelsea will be able to just kill off the game on them, like the 6-0 for last season. Man, I'm tempted to say a draw, man. You know what? I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea again, Yeah. Tarkowski out. I'm going to hurt them. Yeah, man, Missy said Nice beat them today, but brother, what them a play for? The man them a lose and take off all the ball of them in the second half. I save them for the Tuesday game. And French League, I'll move up the game to Friday for them start. Should I make them play Sunday? Promise has 16 league goals, yep. Yeah, man, sometimes you just need the chance and the right setup, man. Yeah, man, the man them have whole heap of striker. 3-1 Chelsea, all right. Nick started off with a 3-1 to Chelsea. I went to that little tighter goal scoring margin of 2-1. The 3 could come though, because as I said, I think it's gonna hurt that Tarkowski not there. He's a real leader for them on the back line. So I could say maybe they conceding 3. They haven't conceded 3 in forever. I don't even think they have conceded 3 goals in a game under Moyes. Float said 2-1 as well to Chelsea. I said, me have the correct score. All right, boss, make us see. Let's see if we get the check mark by the score, Oh, my brethren must did send me the clips already, Right down for him score them from now. I wonder if him see my message about the look like him not see my message, You wanna tell him say tell him to send the FA Cup picks. Yo, must say 2-1 to Brighton West Ham. Man, send on the. Alright, so Chile said Chelsea 2-1. Hopefully them can get the draw though. Yeah, I was thinking draw, but just feel like that Tarkowski absence, you know? Look like him tear out something last week. Him definitely out. Brighton West Ham people is the next game. There's 4 games at this time, so you have to go find a goal rush or get a 2-3 device them and go and watch them all. But this is the head-to-head tail of the tape with Brighton and West Ham. I'm gonna say Duke. All right, Dre. I know Dre might not there for the rest of them, but Dre, if you have a runway, just drop the rest of them in the comment after the show. May I do 9 Premier League weekend game, no, 7 Premier League weekend game and the FA Cup game them. So just drop all of them in the comments and me add you. But don't finish in the last place here. Because Duke know how that feeling is, it's not good. Big up Jordan, what go on? Hope all is well, my brother. Me going for Chelsea win is a win. Yeah, cause chilling around for pick win and know say more the team lose, And the man don't rate himself with the picks. Reverse psychology, the thing there. All right, so these 2 teams have played 15 times, and surprisingly, it's been dominated by Brighton in terms of the wins, 6 wins to 1, and 8 draws. So draw has been the most common result in these fixtures with these 2 teams, and they actually had a draw earlier this season in the London Stadium, draw last season as well in the London Stadium. West Ham beat them in the Amex before that. Brighton beat them. So it's been up and down, back and forth, but it's been 2 draws on the bounce, and that has been the most common result in the fixture. Brighton has really wobbled in the last 5 weeks, 3 losses and only 2 draws, so 2 points from a possible 15 in this running that has really collapsed for them. No chance of really getting back into Europe at this point. Then West Ham have 1 more point than them in the last 5, 3 draws and 2 losses. So neither team really lighting the place up. No winless in their last 5 games, both teams. West Ham have draws with Southampton, Bournemouth and Everton and losses to Wolves and Liverpool, while Brighton's 3 losses have come to Aston Villa, Crystal Palace and Brentford, with draws, terrible draw at home to Leicester and a decent draw away at the Etihad to Man City. So far, you can see where each team is average goals scored per match. Brighton have the edge there. Also, the slight edge in goals conceded. That's really been the issue for Brighton. I think Verbruggen has had a down season compared to what he did last year, and what his normal form is. They have 7 clean sheets to 6 for West Ham. They have better chance creation though. Do Brighton and 1.45 for West Ham in terms of chances created. You see the goal scored and assist led by João Pedro, Jared Bowen, who's had his injury trouble this season, as well as Pedro, it has to be mentioned, and 9 goals and 5 assists. As is typical, he's leading West Ham in both categories. João Pedro will be missing as he did get a red card last week, so can't depend on him to do any damage this week if you're a Brighton fan or FPL fan. But for me, Brighton West Ham, Brighton is really struggling, man. Them don't win a game in forever. I'm gonna say Brighton probably dash for some points, So I'm gonna say 2-2. 2-2. I don't trust Brighton defense right now. Them giving up chances, the keeper not holding up like he should. I don't expect that to change. I think they've played themselves out of contention for Europe, and that's gonna continue. It's gonna be a poor result for them, dropping 2 points at home. Yeah, I was watching the draft too. I did kind of take it off now. I turned to the basketball. I know you're watching your side play. I think this game 3 is pivotal in a Dre. If the Lakers don't win this game 3, I don't know what to tell you. Luka, nope. Seagulls 2-1. Yeah, I was thinking of Seagulls winning, but I don't know, man. Seagulls letting me down this season. Thought they would do better. Unlucky with injuries too, because I told them they get injured right when them did start to try and make the push. Nitro agree with the 2-all. Desmond 2-2. Actually say 1-1. Big up Pristine. I don't have your name right in already. Let's drop Chelsea, Everton, Brighton, West Ham, Pristine. Reach to the third game now. Newcastle and Ipswich. All right, so Newcastle, Ipswich people. They played 9 times, only 1 win out of those games for Ipswich. It was at Portman Road. They will be traveling to the Cauldron, which is St. James Park. They have 5 wins in this series, with 3 draws out of those 9 games. Earlier this season, Newcastle spanked them 4-0 at Ipswich. I don't expect it to be much different in this one. Tough loss after 4 wins on the bounce for Newcastle. A big statement Villa win. They went to Villa Park and got battered 4-1. Ipswich have lost their last 5. The last game was one they want to forget. A 4-0 loss at Portman Road to Arsenal. But yeah, they have 3 losses, 1 win, 1 draw in their last 5 matches. Pretty much ready to go back to the championship and fight it out. Newcastle on 18 wins. Actually can surpass Arsenal in the win category with a win in this game. I saw where all the teams from second down to I think 6th all have 18 wins. No, second, third, fourth, and 5th all have 18 wins, and they're in 5th. Yeah, so they could have won more than Arsenal after Saturday's match against Ipswich, which I think if any of you in this chat pick Ipswich to win, I just feel like I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't see why you would, because I really don't see it happening. Newcastle, sometimes they do tend to have performances that aren't to their standard, but I feel like coming off the back of that 4-1 loss, Eddie Howe back on the bench, that will give them an extra lift as well. The fans will be, loud as usual. So yeah, I think Newcastle probably turned them over. I'm tempted to say it's just as bad as what it was earlier this season. But I'm going to give Ipswich a little more credit and say maybe them keep it 1 less. So I'm going to say 3-0 to Newcastle. I was tempted to go back for the 4-0 in a man. All right, so Pristine said 3-1 Chelsea. Float said 1-1 with Brighton and West Ham. Chile said 3-1. Wait. So Pristine give me 2 different scores for the. All right, so yeah, I changed to 2-1. All right, cool. So me say the second one I use Pristine and Brighton 2-1. All right. Newcastle 4-1 say Nitro. Float say 3-1. All right, Pristine. Give it the Ipswich win now. Come on, say you good for the for the mad pick, 5-1. I feel like every time I say if anyone pick this team to every time, really. I probably said it when we played West Ham still. But no, seriously. All right, let me see. We'll go back in the week then. Which game would I say that for? Okay, it might be right still though. All right, which game was a madness? I mean, you can't really count Wolves and Man U. Like, I think a lot of people thought that would happen. Southampton, the draw with West Ham, that wasn't really scripted. Let me see. Maybe Everton beating Forest. Pristine alone did pick that, When Forest host Everton a couple weeks ago, Pristine alone say Everton. Jaja. Can't say Wolves start now. That now a joke side. I mean, there haven't been that many. Everton, Arsenal 1-1. Jeez and peas. Some of them gave. All right, Ipswich, Bournemouth. See? Not a soul pick Ipswich that day there and then beat them. So I lie, I tell Chile. All right, Brighton 2-1. We get the third, I think. Pristine. Yeah. Newcastle 3-0. I wonder where BBK Sports there, you know. I see him comment, me write him name, and then I say no score. That may I say pristine vision clear. 3-0 Newcastle. Alright, so BBK. How the first few game them go? I know say Dre not right no more, you know. As Chelsea alone him thing there, you know. Alright, let's move on now. Cause it don't really make sense to analyze all of this. We know Newcastle stats better. Isak, Murphy having a big season, you know, man. Barnes up to 9 goals now in a short space of time. Can we have the conversation, people? Is Harvey Barnes actually better than Anthony Gordon? Because Gordon was like supposed to be the next thing, you know, man. So hold on. Why you say 3-0? Oh, Newcastle, never mind. 1-0 Chelsea. And Brighton, West Ham, BBK. Is Harvey Barnes better than Anthony Gordon? That's the question. Remember, Harvey Barnes was making like England squads before him start get injured all the while, you know. And then when he moved to Newcastle, people did expect him to take off. And it's really him being injured make Gordon even reach over that place. And I swear go. Gordon no forward half time start rip up the place at Everton. And Barnes is dead already and just injured all the while. And so the timeline go. Something like that, you know. I'm pretty sure. One all Brighton West Ham. Yeah, BBK. I don't know if it gone to the levels of fraud watch, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen Barnes, like, all right, I've seen Gordon when he's on really good form for Newcastle, right? And I've seen Barnes on this, like, last, I'd say, 4 or 5 games on good form. And to me, with Barnes, it just look better. You know what I'm saying? It just look better to me. It just look better. It's more clinical. I don't know. Gordon just more flashy, I guess you would say. And Barnes is just more methodical with it, but I would rather the Barnes way. He looks to have top class delivery as well. I always knew he was a good finisher, but his crosses, like his when he cuts in and sends that diagonal with the right foot, even on the left foot, he's good as well, crossing. So I don't know. Well, say God not the same since he mash up in face. I don't know what's going on with God. I feel like all season he hasn't been quite. I think last season he was better. I don't think he's been as good this season. 3-1 Newcastle says Red Skull. All right. So people giving Delap a goal. I'm streaming with some Newcastle man today and they want Garden sold to raise funds. Hey, if I was a Newcastle fan, as I say, I don't know if it's fraud watch levels, right? I do feel like I would want to see how it looks with him back on form again. You know what I'm saying? But hey, if I don't think BBK tell those Newcastle fans if they want to raise funds, sell us Isak and they have all the funds they need. Different players for sure. Yeah, they're different. They're different. As far as I know, Omar is still out. Yeah, I haven't really checked the Ipswich site, but let me see. Ba ba ba. Kieran McKenna say, I'm going to try to buy Isak for 30 mil. Good luck with that. Well, I might check something, people. Ipswich team news. Rule out until next season. Smaddock's unavailable. Hutchinson and Connor Townsend will face late fitness tests. So it's a possibility. So late fitness test for Amari. So he's close. Could be. All right, let's move on. Southampton and Fulham. People, you know how I feel about Fulham all season long, you know. Anyway, 19 wins, 8 draws out of those 19 games. Same about 19 wins. 19 games played, 8 draws, 5 wins for Southampton, 6 for Fulham. So it's pretty close. Looks like the home teams typically have the advantage. Fulham, as I said, this team, out of all the damn teams in this league, this team has the biggest drop-off in form when they're playing a team they think they should beat. As evidence here, 0-0 with Southampton at the Cottage. Then play Arsenal, play great. Play Liverpool, beat them. Play City, play really good as well. Like every top team, then play well. Any other team, you don't know what Fulham showing up. And for those reasons, you know, people, I'm gonna say Southampton finally give them fun. Look, them almost win the game against West Ham, you know, them should have win, you know, could have win. I say, yo, Southampton need a 1 day for cheer. And this is the day, people. I'm doing it. I'm going for the madness pick in this one. I'm going for a 2-1 Southampton win. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it, people. I don't business. I know I'm probably the only one. Me and Pristine alone. I go pick Southampton in that game. Yeah. No, I'm not out for no rest of the season. I'm facing a late fitness test. So, or I'm out for the season if you want to face a late fitness test. Fulham 3-1, says Pristine. Unless you're talking about somebody else. So, yo, I feel bad now, star. Yeah, man said 30 mil. Obviously, he was joking, but must send a 30 million and £1, like Arsenal. Southampton 1-1. All right, Nitro. Almost try a madness like me, but him said draw. I go all the way, brother. 2-1 Southampton. 2-1 Fulham said Chile. I like how my chat I move so sane tonight with these picks, you know, man. No madness picks. Bunch of educated guesses, you know. Red Skull. Okay, Skull no drop none yet. Yeah, no. He did. He said 2-1 Fulham a long time. Just like that. Hey, BBK Sports. I knew I wouldn't be the only one. 1-0 Southampton. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. This team Fulham love to joke out these games, man. And Fulham been, you know, obviously they played some better teams, but look there, beat Liverpool. Can't really call Spurs a good team, but then beat them lose to Arsenal, Bournemouth, and Chelsea. You know, 3 teams that you shouldn't be like so upset about losing to. But telling you, man, I just feel like the Southampton team randomly going to win a game, and this might be the one right here. So I know Muniz is out, so Jimenez will be tasked with leading the line, and Smith Rowe is back, even though Smith Rowe hasn't had the impact that a lot of people thought he would have this season. And it's been typical the reasons why, you know. He had a good, decent start to the season, was fit playing. The minute he got that first injury on the season, everything was in and out since then. And, you know, he's just returning again from injury. So, story of his career, to be honest. Every time he look like he's going to do something, he's on the trainer's table again. So, yep. All right. But I'm going to go with a Southampton win. It is a bit of a madness, but, you know, every now and again, you just have a feeling, you know? And I have a feeling. Fulham has nothing to fight for. Oh, yeah, for the worst season ever. That is true. Yeah, not everybody feeling that way, though, Nitro, you know? Most people going with the Fulham win. But I see most people have it as a close game. Pristine alone went for the 3-1. Everybody else going 2-1. West Ham give them life. You see it. Yeah, man, last week, so West Ham moved like them one Southampton beat them star, I swear. All right, Wolves and Leicester people. Now Wolves is a team that I think uh, Everton is a team that definitely had a manager bounce. I think Wolves is a team that had a weird manager bounce. Because when he first got there, they got some bug up beaten again. And kept losing, kept losing. I think he had to figure out like who are his dogs in the locker room and stuff. He got rid of Lemina, changed around some other players. But this guy has really gotten a tune out of this team now. 13 games played. Leicester has been relegated. We also heard that Jamie Vardy, legendary Leicester striker and England striker, is going to be calling it a day, not going back down to the grind of the championship. I think he said he spent 13 seasons, I think, at Leicester, which is quite remarkable. Been through a lot of times with the club, and obviously the biggest moment would be winning that Premier League trophy out of nowhere in 15-16. So, he'll go down as a legend, of course. I think he still has the record for most goals consecutive, right? I forget how many games it was in consecutive games. So yeah, definitely will go down in history. Very, very dangerous in his heyday. Even up until a few seasons ago, was still kind of doing it. It's the first time I can remember this season, like saying Jano Vardy is a little bit, long in the tooth. But yeah, father time I always catch up with everybody. So we're seeing it with LeBron in the playoffs, I think. Even though him fans don't want to, not even him fans, because I like LeBron too. I don't want to make it seem like I'm a hater or anything. But yeah, you can just see the difference this year, His body really struggling to get back to what we normally see from him. Anyway, this is 13 times played history. 4 draws, 4 wins for Wolves, 5 for Leicester. When they played earlier in the season at the King Power, 3-0 victory to Wolves, and that was even under the old coach. So Leicester just having a poor season. Wolves, though, who would have thought that at any point this season they would have 5 wins, and I mean all 3 points in a row, beating Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich. Not the who's who are the Premier League, Spurs and Man U, great names, but not the best seasons. So yes, it does look like Wolves have had a nice run of form, but hey, you have to beat who's in front of you. And I think they will do that one more time and get their 6th straight win. They have moved all the way up to 15th. That's crazy. They were in 19th, late in the season. I think they were definitely in the relegation when this coach took over. I'm almost for sure certain of that. Or they were 17th at least. But yeah, they have gotten up to 11 wins now after the last 5. Still have the 17 losses already. But they have scored 1.45 goals. Leicester under 1 goal per match. Definitely struggling. 1.85 conceded, but that has gradually come down from earlier in the season. Under O'Neill, they were up into the 2.5 goals conceded per match area. So he has done a really good job. Most of these clean sheets, about 6 of them at least, have been under this manager. Chances created 1.61 to 1.24. And then goals scored, of course, Cunha with 14, but Strand Larson, in Cunha's suspension absence, picked up the slack and is now over double digits as well in his first season. So a nice 1-2 punch there in attack for Wolves, which I doubt will still be there next year, as Cunha looks to have 1 foot out the door. Most places saying that he'll be headed to Manchester United to ruin his career, So yeah, that will be tough. We'll see. We'll watch that transfer there and see if it goes through. But Matheus Cunha, one of my favorite players right now in the league, and I really hope he doesn't ruin what he's building right now in his career. So yeah, we'll monitor that. But in this fixture, people, I just went for the mad one just now, and that's it. I'm back saying again. So I'm gonna go Wolves with the result. Leicester last week, I think they did finally score a goal, didn't they? Or the week before that? Oh yeah, they scored 2, but then they went back to getting no goals again. Damn. I'm gonna give Leicester 1, but I think they concede 3. So 3-1 Wolves in front of their fans. Yeah, Ramsdale masterclass incoming. There you go. 3-1 Wolves a skull as well. All right. Wolves have since Float at 2-0 to Fulham. Float missed my story about everything, you know. Vardy came from National League. Great story, absolutely. Yeah, man. Non-league to low. Wolves 2-1. Your result for that game is because the keeper was at Arsenal or not. No. I wasn't thinking about Ramsdale, none at all. This have to do with Fulham and how I view them this season. Them always a joke out the game them with them better than the other team. Some of us feel like they're gonna catch up with them today. Remember them draw with them at home, you know. In front of them fans, them draw with them, you know. Some of us feel like Southampton just gonna win a one game, bro. Them have to win. A two win them gonna, you know. Oh, them must get a 3 win, man. Come on. BBK said 2-0 to Wolves. All right. Wolves manager from Portugal. Sounds like it should work. Yeah. The last time they were good, they had Nuno. But then they brought Bruno Lage, and he wasn't that good, and he's Portuguese. So I don't know. It's weird. They made a certain Portuguese. Pristine 2-1. Chile said 1-0. Hopeful, Nigel. What going? Wolves 3-2, say Nick. Man said Leicester going to break out. 2 goals for Leicester is like 6 for a good team, you know. Going to Man U to get worthless. Yeah, bro. He's going to ruin himself. Couldn't you take a close look at our United strikers? I'm telling you, bro, I don't know how, well, I do know. I mean, Manchester United is, you know, it's Manchester United. You know what I mean? That's still, it still is Manchester United at the end of the day. But, Jano, you're not watching the game. You don't see what's going on. But these players they back themselves, you know. So you look at the situation and say, yo, I can be a legend if I go there in this moment and make them good again. You know what I mean? Never mind that as your countryman. Yeah, exactly. Just speak to any Brazilian. Alfred. Fred will tell you, say, yo, I was the biggest baller and the man them say me no good. And now them a ball for a midfield. Best coaches in the world, Spain, Argentina, and Portugal. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I don't know if the Portuguese is. I think I would want to say I would be quicker to say Spain and Argentina right now. I don't know if the Portugal get into there. To be totally honest, because if we're talking sheer like volume of coaches, I think Spain and Argentina top that. I mean, definitely Spain without question. That's interesting. I wonder, like, in the top 5 leagues, what nationality coach, like, what's the highest nationality of, you know? 'Cause obviously, there'll be a concentration of the main ones from that country, you know. The least of which probably England in the English league. There's probably the least amount of countrymen coaching in the league in England than all the rest. I would think more Spaniards in Spain, more Italians coaching Italy, more French coach in France, and more German coach in Germany, you know what I mean? But England, out of the 20 Premier League club, are probably about 3 of them are England man to Englishman. All right, actually, no, I'm gonna go through all I club them. Where's the let me see, clubs. So Arteta from Spain, Emery from Spain, Iraola from Spain, Brentford from Denmark, Brighton from Germany, Chelsea, that's Italy, Fulham, that's Portugal, Everton, that's Scotland, um, Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner, he's German. Is he German? I'm pretty sure he is, you know. Let me check. Might be from a next country. I think he's German though. No, he's Austrian. Same thing. So I was like, maybe he's German. Them two things are close. All right. I know I'm gonna get an Englishman yet, you know. All right. Kieran McKenna. This man is from England, people, and he's getting relegated as well. Actually, he's from Northern Ireland. Oh my gosh, rough. Leicester City. Who coach them? Rude is Dutch. Slat is Dutch. Pep is Spanish. United is Portuguese. Newcastle, England. Nuno, Portuguese. Southampton coach. Ross is Southampton coach again. Didn't they hire someone and fire him already? Who is Southampton coach, people? Simon Rusk. Who the hell is that? Well, he's from England. Good for him. Tottenham, Australia, West Ham, England, and Wolves, Portugal. So three Englishmen. One of them is caretaker. I mean, I think this Rusk guy is the full time brother. Can we hire somebody and fire him already? Jeez. Yeah, people, it's not a good look for the English coach them. And even when you look in the champ, a whole heap of other nationality coach them out as well. Alright, let me go back to the fixtures now. So we reach the FA Cup match now. Yeah, alright. So we reached to the FA Cup match, people. So drop on the score predictions for the game on Saturday. Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Let's take a look at that. So we have some predicted lineups out there. Let's just take a look and see if you guys agree with these. Unai Emery has come out and said his squad is fully fit. So there's no issues with any other players. Man having full complement of players for the most part, unless they were like long-term injuries and they don't come back yet. But for the most part, him have a lot of the people. So let's take a look at the exactly 2 of the 3 getting relegated. Sad. No, wait, 2 of the 3, anyhow not. The Southampton dude is who's the third one again? I thought McKenna was, but he's from Northern Ireland. Yeah, so I guess you can count him. He's Great Britain, right? Ooh, LeBron with the sidestep 3. All right, so these are the predicted lineups according to SofaScore for the match tomorrow. So as you can see, tried and trusted system for Glasgow, the 3-4-3 with the wing backs, 2 attacking midfielders in the 10s. For whatever reason, they're not starting Sarr on this graphic. Clearly he's injured or something. Doesn't list him as an injury or a suspension. So I don't understand that at all. I would think he would start Sarr, but maybe not. Maybe he's going for the balance of this. This is who he started in those areas against Arsenal in the game that does finish. Mateta started on the bench, but he'll be back in from the start. I agree with that. Now they're saying that Watkins will start this game. Who knows? Emery has been doing some madness with the striker role. It's been either Watkins or Rashford, and they haven't really played together. So let's see if they actually do play together in this one. I could see Jacob Ramsey maybe starting in this game instead of Rashford. But let's see. Let's see what the coach goes for. He has been tending to play Rashford in all the biggest games from the start. So, who knows? He could very well play Rashford through the middle and Ramsey on the left. But he said he has his full complement of players, so we'll see if Leon Bailey is even in the picture. He wasn't on the bench the last time he had the chance to be, and that was a bit crazy just to know that Leon Bailey can't even make the bench. We knew that there was an influx of attacking players, and we thought that his minutes could go down. But even I wouldn't have predicted that he wouldn't be able to make even a bench. But when you looked at that bench that he didn't make, and you looked at the subs, he basically made a sub for each attacking position, and Bailey was not in the pecking order of that first sub for each of those positions. So, it's a lot of players there, man. I guess it's possible now that you've seen it happen, but boy, I wouldn't have predicted it. But yeah, what I will try to do though is predict the score of this game. The easy choice is obviously Aston Villa, right? But I think Crystal Palace do have what you would call like a cup setup type of team. They have a goalkeeper that on his day can just have a blind and make a bag of saves in Henderson. I think Martinez is similar, obviously better, much bigger profile, done it on a higher scale and a bigger level. But I don't think Henderson is a slouch. I think he has, though, in the past couple of games, had a bit of off games for him. And the hope is that this game coming up, at least for Palace fans, would be this game coming up is more of a display that he's been doing normally than what he's been doing like of late. Because he has been kind of messing up a few times in the last few games, and they have been conceding a much more goals in the last few games as well, even conceding 2 to Arsenal as well. But they had the game against City where they conceded 5. I think another one where they had 4 let in. So it's been coming out of nowhere as well, because they were pretty stingy and getting good results for a while. But I think maybe they have had one eye on this game for a few weeks now in terms of how they've been looking in the league. So you have to maybe forgive them a bit for that. But I don't know, man. Aston Villa, I think the difference in this game probably is going to be if the game is close, if it's still up in the balance, at a 1-all game, a 0-all game, and it gets down to the 70th, 75th minute when the players start to tire and they need to make subs. The depth that Villa have, I think, is going to be the difference. They'll bring on the likes of an Asensio, Daniel Marlin, the players that can, in a moment, just create something, score a goal, finish a goal, finish an action, Matson off the bench. They just have those options they can turn to. And for that reason, I just think Aston Villa are going to be a little too much for them, honestly. I think they're going to get the best of Crystal Palace in this one. So I'm going to say Aston Villa wins this one. Aston Villa wins this one 2-1. 2-1 Aston Villa. I was going to go for Palace, but nah. All right, so we're getting some scores. Nitro said 3-2 Villa. I remember, people, you can do a draw and say it's going to penalties and just tell me which team wins. Aston Villa 3-1 says Pristine. 1 of 3, my bad. The other one is Moyes, them safe. Yeah. And Moyes ain't even English either, he's Scottish. Palace 2-1. So there's the first vote for the Palace victory. 2-1 says Hot Chili to Palace. For the top 5 leagues, Spain 24%, Italy 20%, Germany 14%, France 10%, and Portugal 5%. What's the percent? What do you mean? Oh, that's the coaching. Okay, nationalities. Well, thanks for that research there, Nitro. Okay, so Spain lead the way, then Italy, then Germany, then France, then Portugal. Damn, so Portugal the 5th. But Portuguese league is not a top 5 league, so maybe that definitely has to factor into it, right? But the fact that England is not even in this list and they have a league in the top 5 is tough. Okay, so BBK says 1-1. PK Villa. Fair. Float said 2-1 Villa. So Nick said 2-all, and it will go to extra time. And to be honest, you don't need to tell me who you think will win the penalties. If the game ends 2-2, you'll just get the point, just like otherwise, you know. But for bonus, you can tell me, just so I know who you think. So we have 2 draws and going to PKs. BBK says 1-1. Nick says Desmond 2-2. All right, cool. So let's flip back over now to the Sunday fixtures, and of course we're gonna just go back to the Prem first. I believe though what's crazy is the game on Sunday. It's pretty much gonna be simultaneous almost with the game on Sunday that could provide us with the ceiling of the Premier League if Liverpool get 3 points over Tottenham, which I think everybody probably thinks will happen. But the Forest and Man City FA Cup semi-final will be happening at the same time. So that's wonderful for me because I will just watch the FA Cup and I don't need to watch Liverpool celebrate winning, you know? That's perfect. 4-1 Villa need a smoke. So hold on. 4-1 Villa need a smoke? Yeah, so 11:30 same time. Forest City and Liverpool Tottenham. What a wicked. All right, so the game that we also will be watching, because it's going to be the only one in the morning for the Premier League on Sunday, and that is Bournemouth and Man United. And Man United, of course, um, have their Europa League semi-final first leg on Thursday. In this fixture, they have the advantage in the 15 matches played between them. 9 wins for United, 4 for Bournemouth, and 2 drawn games. Bournemouth, though, earlier this season getting one of their 4 wins at Old Trafford. That was really the end for the previous manager, that 3-0 defeat. Or was this Amorim who was coaching this day? Was this Amorim? It don't tell you, it don't tell you. Okay, so Amorim was there. So this was Amorim's worst rotted game then. 3-0. All right, let me check something though. Cause Amorim, them always a customer. When they play them time, yeah. So Martinez done. Malasia can't see him again. Him done. Dallo injured now. Ugarte should be available. Manu is back now. Bruno, Xerxes out. Right? Xerxes out, yeah. And Diallo is out. So damn. So Euro should play. Evans out. Ericsson might play. Casemiro might play. Collier, we can't see him again. We don't know what to him. Hoyland can play. Anthony on loan. And Garnacho can play. So, yeah, quite a different team from back then. But Bournemouth, as I said, was looking good. Then they had 2 straight defeats to Brentford and Ipswich at home. Terrible 2-1 losses. Then they drew with West Ham away, beat Fulham, and drew with Crystal Palace. Man United have lost 3 of their last 5, with a win against Leicester, their only victory, and a 0-0 draw in one of the most boring Manchester derbies ever in between all of those games. So losses to Wolves, Newcastle, and Forest in those last 5. Man United in 14th, Bournemouth in 8th. Bournemouth have 3 more wins, 2 more draws, 5 less losses. They average more goals per match. They concede less goals than United per match. United do have 1 more clean sheet on the season, but Bournemouth do create more chances than Man United on the season. Oh, crazy stuff. Clivert should be back in business to play again. Evan Nielsen, almost the double digits, has 4 games to equal 10 for his first season in the Prem. Bruno with 8 goals, 9 assists, typically doing the business for United as usual. Diallo with 6 assists, not available anymore. Kluivert showing that he can assist as well with 6 assists to go with his 12 goals. Look, for me, there's no reason for me to go against what I believe, and that is that Manchester United literally are just playing out these games because they have to. All their eggs are in the Europa League basket, and they have some injuries to think about. So it's going to be tough for them to play their best foot forward. I think Bournemouth, though, on the other hand, some of their players probably playing for moves, to bigger clubs. Um, a lot of their players linked with other clubs right now. Kirkes, Semenyo, Kluivert, um, quite a few other players on that team. Houston, the centre back, saw news today that Arsenal are looking to put a bid in for him, which is surprising but understandable due to the fact that I think we're going to see some movement with our defenders this summer, especially like the likes of Kivior. I think right now, after this run in the Champions League, and since he's taken over from Gabriel since he's been forced to by injury, I think his value will be at its highest it's ever going to be if he stays with us right now. So I could see them moving on. And then, I think we're already going to spend the money on attackers, but I think any other movement of players we can do that we deem to be an improvement, you might see that happen. I think that might be one of them. The only thing I'd say to that is Kivior is a left-footed centre-back and Housen is right-footed. But, Housen does play on the left side in the back four comfortably from what I've seen with Bournemouth. So it's not ideal, but I think he could do it. He's technical enough. And, there's always that thing in the back of my mind saying, Real Madrid wants Saliba. And, I don't know. It's just, I've seen it too often where that player does leave and go to Madrid. So maybe not, though. Maybe us beating them in the Champions League changes things. Who knows? But, yeah, I'm gonna go with Bournemouth to win this game, people, over Man U. I just don't see how they don't look forward to Thursday, and that doesn't affect them too much in this one. So I'm gonna say Bournemouth get the win in this one. I'm tempted to say nil, 2-1. Bruno probably find a goal somewhere, free kick or get a penalty or something. Or you need them to smoke Palace, so you say upset. Especially for the tweet. Yeah, that tweet was diabolical for real. Yeah, it was Amarim. 2-0 Bournemouth afloat. All right. I was tempted to give Manu none, but I give literally Bruno that goal. 3-1. Cherries 2-0 says Chile. Bournemouth has fallen off, especially since all their players are linked with a move away. Yeah, a lot of them. 2-1 Bournemouth says BBK. How is it that when Onana make a mistake, he seems to get beaten by many, but that mistake from the Villa goalkeeper, I haven't seen much talk about it. Yeah, I mean, look, when people always give me talking about how could Arsenal get rid of, who has become the best goalkeeper in the world and stuff. Look, I think in a moment or in a knockout competition or in a run of games, he can do excellent. But you can see over the course of a season, he makes quite a few mistakes, Martinez, But I mean, he is a strong character. He's very good at penalties. So knockout competition, cups, Champions League, Europa League, he's always going to do good because he's a big moment keeper for sure. But you see them dog days in November and October, some random league game, good for make mistake in them game there, man. Arteta want 4 centre back, bro. You think just 4? Probably 6 in one. 2 left foot and 2 right foot just to rotate. Yeah, but remember, Calafiori is really a centre back, So I'm not thinking really got turn him, and whereas he wasn't expecting to have Skelly as a left back. Now him see Skelly play left back, and Calafiori can play left back again. Skelly always a play over Calafiori. So, yeah, I think he wants Calafiori to probably be a centre back eventually. 2-2 Bournemouth. So Nick said, man, you are going to fight for get a 2-2. Cherries 2-1 say Red Skull. Onana, that is true. Onana just makes more mistakes as well. That is true. That is true. Yeah, let's not act like Martinez make as much. Yeah, that's true. I mean, as I said, his big moment, he has a big trophy. Literally won Arsenal. Well, not him, but he was a huge part of Arsenal winning the FA Cup the last time we lifted something. He had very good games in that build up to the FA Cup. Made some good saves for us. So, um, look, at the time when we sold him, I was like, this makes no sense. Like, this guy literally has been loaned out every single time because he's not going to get no game. We finally need him to get game, and the man excels. Like, even his league form during that whole time when we were making the FA Cup run was excellent. Every game he was playing, he was good. And I was like, if he can be this consistent, we don't need to buy no keeper. Very good at pens. This is tough, especially if Kiwior continues to play good. Wouldn't see them letting him go. Yeah, look, there is a point, Red Skull. I agree with you. Where if Kiwior just plays this good for the rest of the season, then they could very well change their mind. But my thing is, because he's had this consistent run against Real Madrid, and if he has a great performance in the two legs against PSG as well, and we get to the final or whatever, like, his value will never reach back to the level once the season starts next year and Gabriel is back. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't think, no matter how well he does right now, I don't think when Gabriel comes back, he won't get back in. You know what I'm saying? Even though, if you remember, when the start of this season, the coach was trying everything to not have Gabriel start. He was playing other people. Like, people were like, why is Gabriel not starting? And then eventually he stopped doing the madness. But I don't know. Something deep down tell me that, like, he likes Gabriel for what he does, like, corners and his aggressiveness and stuff. But I think on the ball, he feels like we can do better. Just because he made many changes, the fact that it's a mistake, you see. What? Oh, United 2-1 says Pristine. So Pristine said Bournemouth slide continues. I don't know what do gone, people. Man, he'll way up and burn me out with a wire and cut. All right, people. So Liverpool, Tottenham. That's going to be the last fixture of the weekend in the Prem. As I said, the game time of the FA Cup semi-final is literally the same time. So I guess only scouts alone will be watching this game. All the other football fans will be watching the FA Cup semi-final. But all you scouts out there, you all will be glued to this one. LOL, Martinez left Arsenal, got his Argentina debut, won Copa, won World Cup, and Copa again, and Arsenal have only touched a charity shield in that time. Well, Arsenal couldn't control him playing for Argentina because he got his call up. He got his call up for Argentina in the summer after winning the FA Cup. So he can thank Arsenal for making Argentina anyway. So that wouldn't have changed anything. And he hasn't won anything with Villa. Now that can change. He might just win a what you call it, with Villa, FA Cup, All right, so 65 games played. Another game that's been played a whole bunch of times in the league since it's been called the Premier League. 65 played, 17 draws, 33 wins for Liverpool, 15 for Spurs. Recent meeting was a madness, 6-3 to Liverpool. Soon as they looked like the game was over, Spurs scored some goals, Liverpool scored some more. It was crazy, 9 goals between them. The last time they played at Anfield, Liverpool scored and won 4-2. So it's been goals galore in this fixture the last 2 games. Will that continue? Basically, 3 of the last 5, at least 6 goals scored between the two teams. So usually a lot of goals in this one. Liverpool, though, hasn't really been scoring that many goals of late, to be honest. They did have the 3-1 win over Southampton, but then 1-0 wins over Leicester and Everton, 2-1 win over West Ham, and then a 3-2 loss to Fulham. Spurs have 4 losses sandwiched around 1-3-1 win over Southampton, the last place team. So Spurs also, just like Man U for me, literally looking at Thursday, nothing really about this game. I mean, the only thing is just, maybe the pride of not being the team that, the team that like losing to the team that won the league when they beat you, maybe that pride kicks in, but I don't really think so. I think Ange Postecoglou is going to make the changes necessary. If anybody's feeling a niggle that could influence this game in a positive way, he's going to sit them on the bench and wait till Thursday to play them. So Liverpool is going to just have a party. I could see them getting back to goal scoring ways as well due to Tottenham's openness as a team. I think Vicario, since he's been back from injury, has been pretty much shitty. I don't think he's been good at all. And I think that probably will continue as well. Liverpool put too much pressure on the opponent's goalkeeper. He's going to crack. He's going to make mistakes. I think they get the 25th win and they will win the league title when this game is over. So, not much to be said. I think Salah, it's been a few little weeks where he hasn't had a multiple goal contribution game. I think Salah maybe has that happen in this title winning match. I'm gonna say that Liverpool put 4 past Tottenham. Spurs probably get 1 goal. 4-1 Liverpool to just cruise to this title as they have been able to the past few weeks, not getting much pressure put on them. Don't have to worry about Arsenal closing any gap or anything before they play on Sunday. So they'll go into this nice and easy knowing that 3 points seals the deal for them. So 4-1 Liverpool over Tottenham is what I am predicting in that one. Christine said Liverpool 2-0. Liverpool and Tottenham, says BBK. 3-1 says Chile. Voice Wave TV, big up. Bro, we need no attacking players. I know. Only one game this weekend can result in a trophy. Where was Man City when he was lifting trophies? True. Fighting relegation in Manchester as well. Red Skull, Man City was in League One. Which Manchester we only recount one. King Power Stadium has seen more EPLs than the Emirates, bro. Damn! That's true as well. You guys can't pass us. That's true as well. Red Skull says 7-0. Yeah, I was going to go with a madness like that, but I say 4-1, yeah, man. 2-1 pool. 4-2 pool. Says the You'll Never Walk Alone, God. Why am I picking up a draw in my spirit? Nah, they ain't gonna draw. I had Chile check again. The EPL started in 92. All right, so the last one. All right, so I don't get one from Nitro yet. Did Nitro drop a score for this? I'm too busy, of course. I never miss a Nitro score. No, Nitro never drop a score for that. It could be a draw still. It could. It just won't. All right, so Nitro, I'm going to get the Liverpool-Tottenham score. So drop that one here. Liverpool-Tottenham Nitro. The last game I will just do. I'm going to get a score for that one there from you. Unless I just miss it. I don't think you put it though. Yeah, I don't see it. All them need is a... Oh, yeah, that's true. They do need a draw because we never win. Yeah, I forgot that. 4-1. All right. Yeah, so a draw gets it done. All right, let me stop sharing this. Now let's move on to the second FA Cup semi. And I'll just pull up on the screen as well. This one will be Sunday, as I said, the same time as the Liverpool-Tottenham game will be the Forest and Man City game. So let me just show you guys what they have as the predicted lineup. As I said, Pep Guardiola's lineup, damn near impossible to predict. You never know what he's thinking. He might want to play wingers who can get past people and cross. He might want to play wingers who want to play central midfield. You never know. But this is what they have for both teams. Of late, Nuno has been going with either Elanga or Hudson-Odoi. So I don't expect that to change. But interestingly, they think that he'll go with that back 5 system that he sometimes goes with against some of the, I guess you would say, the better attacking teams. and Morata usually comes in when that's the case. Elliot Anderson, Danilo, and Dominguez could easily form a 3 in midfield with the back 5, and then Elanga kind of operates as a second striker to Chris Wood, usually drifting a bit to one side, and then one of those 3 midfielders will kind of help out, or they'll get the width on one of those wings from Nico or Moreno. That's kind of how they usually set up in there when they have the back 5. Now for Manchester City, I do actually agree with the back 5 of the sofa score right here. Where I contest is in the midfield spots. I don't know if it will be Kovacic there. It might very well be Nico. Nico did not play in the last Premier League game, I don't think, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I know he came off. So I know he didn't play the full 90 minutes. Foden has been in and out of the team with injury and stuff of late. I don't know if he comes right back in. We've seen the likes of McAtee play, but I have a feeling like he might want to play an orthodox winger in this system tomorrow. So it could be the likes of Adoku starting or Savinho. I would doubt if it was both of them. And I do expect De Bruyne to continue to start. I think for whatever reason right now, he's getting the armband, he's letting him play every game. Maybe it's a matter of, we didn't give you a contract, so the very least we can do is make sure you play all the game then before the season done. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but I think they probably give him another chance to run out the team for this semi-final as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what he decides to do. My guess, Marmoush, De Bruyne, Silva will all play for sure. I think those other 3 positions in that midfield is what's up for grab. Will it be Nico or Matteo? Will Gundo get in there? The Silva play on the right with Savinho on the left, or vice versa. How do they really set up the team tomorrow? But I do think that a couple of the names, Bernardo, De Bruyne, and Marmoush, I could see them all 3 starting for sure. The keeper and the back 4, I think, will be what you see on the screen as well. He could go for Rico Lewis, but he's kind of fallen down the pecking order of late. He seems to trust Nunez now in that right back role. Just recently got a big goal at the end of the game as well. So maybe for that reason, I think Nico O'Reilly right now is like his favorite player. He's always telling the guys to pass the ball to him during the game. So I don't think he's going to get dropped either. But yeah, look, Forest has had the type of season where it's tough to go against them in this particular one-off game. But I just feel like City is kind of peaking at the time when they normally peak during the season. They're unbeaten in the league for a few games now. They did have the hiccup against Manchester United, the draw. But other than that, they've been, beating all the teams. And I think Forest have kind of gone the other way of late in terms of their results. And I really think Ola Aina injury is hurting them. I don't think that they have anybody else in their roster with the type of stamina and speed and strength and the mix of good technical ability as well as Aina in that position. And I think that has been a big loss for them. Of course, Chris Wood coming back helps. I think he looked fit for the first time again in the last game they played. But yeah, I'm gonna just go for Manchester City. I think they're peaking. I think that they're a little bit better equipped with the way the defense is set up now with the transition game. I think the arrival of Nico has helped a lot. I think that's why he'll play tomorrow. I don't think Pep wants to face this team with the same midfielders that maybe earlier in the year were playing. I think you have to play Nico in that midfield currently if you want that stability. He's the only one disciplined in that whole midfield setup to literally sit. All the rest of them get forward and can't run back. So yeah, if I was Pep, I would definitely play Nico in the midfield. So we'll see if he does that. And I think if he does, regardless of how he thinks the attacking players should line up and who he picks, I think once they have that stable of base, they'll win the game. And I think Forest not firing like they were. So I'm gonna say a tough loss for Forest in the end, 3-1 to City. And it will be a City and Aston Villa FA Cup final for me. Nick is going for the 2-all in this one as well. Damn. So Nick said both of the finals going to extra time and penalties, which is interesting. City will be like Man U in a few years and then can't be seen. Before oil money, Arsenal 0 trebles, City 0 trebles. At least the oil money put to good use. City 2-1. Red Skull, you can't make the man a winning a star. The man have the better one-liners tonight, bro. Oh, you make that a go on. At least you acknowledge you got backing, we don't. Oh, you got backing. Yeah, true. 2-1 Forest says float. So float going for the Forest win. So a fit them season. Nitro thinks the same. 2-1. BBK said back to reality for Forest. 3-0 to City. Pristine says 2-0 to City. I figured this one would be a bit more split than the Villa one. City won't be seen like Arsenal for the last 20. Don't forget Arsenal was battle all Prem team without any backing. Yes, Red Skull, fight back. All right, Red Skull, I hear pick a loan me not get for the second FA Cup final. I mean, if you make sure I must send in theme to FA Cup score them. Duke, Biggs G will probably send theirs in the comments. And Dre, anyway, that sports, you drop the Chelsea one. Maybe that's all you were planning to drop still. I know Chelsea is the only thing you're really business with. So that is understandable as well. But everybody that's in the building, Red Skull, you're the only one. There it is, 2-1 to City. So all that cussing of City and the man pick City. All right, people, 9 games picked, locked and loaded, people. Locked and loaded. We are ready for the weekend. Let's see. Hey, for the fun of it, people, I want to say, Copa del Rey prediction. Really a 10 game we need, So might as well add the Copa del Rey to the 10, no? Cause I like the 10, 9 kind of messed up. All right, so the game is 4 o'clock. Lovely. So can just focus on this at 4 o'clock. So this is the predicted lineups from them. It's saying Lewandowski is out. So that's tough. We knew that though. They say we're trying to get him back for Inter in the week. It's going to be touch and go for that. Balde also out. So they've been playing their backup left back, Martin. They have another one as well that played on the weekend. So yeah, but other than that, they're pretty much fit. Kubarsi and Inigo, probably the first choice centre back pairing. Kunde's been the right back. De Jong, Pedri, Olmo, Yamal, Rafinha, and Ferran Torres up front. And then Madrid, you see the big guns is what they're thinking will play. Fran Garcia left back. Valverde still having to play the right back role with no Carvajal, no Militao, a lot of the right-footed centre-backs and defenders, period, not available to play. Ferland Mendy and Alaba are doubts. So we'll see if they pass late fitness test to play. But yeah, it's been all about Barcelona in this matchup this season. If you look at the recent games that these two teams have played, it hasn't been a good look for them. 5-2 in the Super Cup, 4-0 earlier this season in La Liga. They also played a friendly game in August, and Barcelona said, you know what, we want to win this as well. So yeah, they have been beating them. But in the finals of the Copa del Rey, these two teams have faced, I think, 7 times. Madrid has the edge 4-3. Don't know how much that means, but there's that for the Real Madrid Los Blancos fans. But to be totally honest, this whole storyline of the referees and everything, it could galvanize Real Madrid in some way. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the team that's more confident playing the better football is Barcelona. Now, Barcelona, though, do have their deficiencies. I think they'll give you chances to stay in the match. So if Mbappe, Vini, Rodrigo, Bellingham can find any kind of rhythm, play any kind of consistent spell of the game, they could get 2-3 goals quickly against this team. I just don't see that cohesion with the Madrid team currently. And I just don't think that they are organized enough to keep out the Barcelona team from the onslaught that is definitely due to come. The technique of Yamal, the way he can link up with his teammates, create something out of nothing. Rafinha has been on fire all season long. Lewandowski not playing will be a miss, but I feel like in a one-off game, Ferran Torres in this system can get the job done as well. He's a decent clinical finisher too, so obviously he's no Lewandowski, but if you give him chances, he'll score a few. So, look, I am not going to go against the grain in terms of what's been going on this season. I've watched both teams play a number of games. And while I think that Barcelona has their deficiencies, I just feel like right now Real Madrid have a few more. And so for those reasons, I'm going to go for another win to Barca in this series this year. I don't think it's as bad as the 5-2 and the 4-0, but I'm going to say this one's a little bit tighter, a 3-2 to Barcelona. Exciting game though. So Nitro said 4-3 to Barca. Mad. Madrid, them dead, them dead, them dead. 3-1 Barca. 4-3, get that one. The 3-2. Float said 3-2 to Madrid. Wow. All right, so there's the first Madrid. Chile said 3-1 Barca. Nick said 3-1 Barca. Red Skull said 3-1 Madrid. Conrad don't say no vote, but him say a 1 Barca. So a 3-1 him say. All right, Conrad. Conrad get a 1 vote, Big up yourself, same way, Conrad. Yeah, man. So this game should be interesting, people. I don't trust neither one of the defense them, but I feel like overall Barcelona does much more cohesive as a team. I think it's clear that Flick's team is more in tune with what he wants to see than Carlo is. Carlo, at some points, it does look like the man say, yo, just go out there and just kick ball there, man. And just try and make it work. Just using the brilliance and win the damn game then. But yeah, some of these teams with them systems and everybody moving in sync with each other, that whole just use your talent. It's very hard to do that these days, And sometimes that's what it look like them are do for real. Al Hilal drop 7 love. I'm sure I'm going in the champ. Last 2 weeks, listen up, people. And then the football done. So Leeds and Burnley gone up. We knew that from last week. Sheffield clearly going to finish in 3rd position, but there's still this battle for the last spot, basically. Well, last 2 spots, because Bristol and Coventry could drop both games at the end, and Middlesbrough and Millwall gone, But tomorrow is a big one, man, for the Jamaican fans, them, man. Luton and Coventry are man, people, and it's like I've never been so torn about a football match. Luton, of course, basically they need to win. I would say they need to win at least one of their last 2 games. I think if they can get to 49, they're probably safe. So there is a scenario where they can lose this game and still win the next one, but I don't want going into the last week. Luton need the win. Who Luton played last week? West Brom. Ooh, it's pretty much dead. West Brom can't reach nowhere. Them they're 10, 60 points. If them win them last 2, them reach 66. They could potentially reach, Them fire them manager though. Can look how them a lose game. Dang. Well, boy. Coventry play last. Middlesbrough. So that could be for all the marbles, people. Because Middlesbrough, they're 17, man. Damn. And them have a better goal difference than them. Alright, so people, look. We can have success for both of them. So, Omari, you can't win that game. Amari, you can't win that game. You know why? Because as long as Coventry take care of business against Middlesbrough next week, them still make it. No? Plus 10. Not necessarily though, you know. Because them gone plus 10. 66. And Millwall too. But Millwall they -1. So who Millwall play? Boy, it's tricky, you know, people. How everybody can have success. Millwall plays Swansea. Where's Swansea there? Swansea not there too far either. They have an outside chance to reach 66 too. Alright, so maybe Millwall can just draw and then even if Middlesbrough win, Coventry just have to beat Middlesbrough next week and them safe in the top 6. But I prefer if them play Sunderland still, you know, than Sheffield United. Even though Sheffield United, they're beatable too. So yeah, Amari just win tomorrow, my G. Win tomorrow. Get out of the relegation. Oxford, I need for win too. Because I need Greg to go back down. They might play Sunderland though. Damn. But Sunderland can't really move, you know. They can't catch. And then can't. Yeah, so Sunderland might take it easy. See them lose 3 in a row there. They want them just take them time ready up for playoffs, it look like. So yeah, alright. So them supposed to can do that. So yeah, we want Luton beat Coventry tomorrow. Sorry, Joel. Just true, me know you have matters in your own hands on the next day. And I know I just want Luton for safe. Because them play West Brom last. West Brom can't go nowhere. So maybe, yeah. If them just win this week, that's I'm just Coventry, like Luton been winning to, 2 wins on the bounce them get for reach, just saying. So they kinda needed a miracle a few weeks ago, and it's like the miracle start off. So losing 5-1 to Arsenal in the UCL, bro. This Madrid team don't stand a chance. Arsenal team not so bad in actually. Charlton as well in League One, big match. Yeah, huge match for Charlton. They might play Wrexham, no? Big up coach, what go on? Yo, what you mean by done? What you mean? Done? What me say? Who me say done? What me say, Charles? Big up, Brahma. That's crazy. How on earth Luton just coming from Prem and no fighting that? Hey, that's how this league is, man. Sometimes you get injuries, you get a couple bad things reach you. Obviously players leave because you got relegated. I mean, a lot of things are. A lot of our players not playing well, so they well rested, so they're going to be at the tournaments. Where I said I'm ready for play all 90 minutes. Yes, they did struggle. They did struggle without him, and it wasn't just him. They didn't have Alfie, the guy who played left wing back and do a bag of things for them last year. He's been out for long stretches of the season. A lot of their players been out, bro. They've had bad luck with injuries, man. Big up to Isaac Hayden. Went to Portsmouth in relegation zone and saved them with 4 games to go. Yeah, man, Portsmouth safe. Portsmouth safe, I mean, they had some ups and downs since he been there, but he really steadied the ship, give them a good solid 70, 75 minutes every game. Standards, Had some really good performances inside of that as well. But yeah, that's the championship outlook. So we want Luton stay up, we want Oxford stay up, we want Hull City stay up as well. Portsmouth safe, but we don't know what the future holds for Isaac. Maybe they make it a permanent one for him there. They might like what he brought. Coventry, we know we're asking for Luton to beat you. No disrespect, Joel and Coventry, but we know you play Middlesbrough next week. Matters in your own hands. Just beat them, and that's it, man. I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on you, but you can handle pressure. Yeah, so that is the champ. Now let's move on to League One. Wrexham Charlton tomorrow, people. Big match. Charlton probably one of the most formed teams in League One for a while now. And the crazy part about it is Wrexham, unbelievable, might not get the automatic spot. They have been up there all year long, man. And Birmingham run gone with it now. And look how Charlton and Stockport and Wickham have just inched up closer and closer to Wrexham. Wickham even has dropped some points of late. It's really Stockport and Charlton making the run, and Leighton Orient as well, doing really well of late. Reading right there on the playoff line. Barnsley fell off of late, but not Russell though. John Russell been balling, and Dexter finally getting minutes as well with them. But yeah, the big one tomorrow, as I said, people, Wrexham Charlton. That game will take place tomorrow at 12:30, so that will be right around when the FA Cup semi is going on. But I will be trying to find this game. Wrexham usually get play on the station, So let me see if it's on there. No, it's a no station. So we have to go find it on some sites. Can't really too reveal the sites them, but we'll find it for sure. But yeah, this should be a good game, people. Two teams definitely been pretty consistent all season. Wrexham, as I said, kind of limping to the end a bit. But Charlton definitely picking up their pace at the right time in this season, peaking for the playoffs. I think when these teams go into the playoffs, you want to be going in feeling confident. And to be honest, all of these League One teams that are going to make this playoff should feel very confident. Their recent form has been real good. So this one tomorrow should be good as well, the Charlton Wrexham game. It seemed dryish to me. It just seems dryish to me. I know Wrexham really need this to come through for them, because basically, if we can win tomorrow and go to 87 and they draw, their goal difference will be a little better, because right now their goal difference is the same. So that means going into that last fixture, Wrexham will need to better Wickham's result. Lincoln play Wrexham and Wickham play Stockport, another playoff team. And Stockport, honestly, with the right result of Wickham this week, they might even have. So Charlton, put it this way: if Charlton win this game, go to 85, Wrexham on 86, Wickham lose their game as well. Because remember, Wickham is playing Stockport. So that means they would go to 84, Stockport, Charlton 85. They would jump over Wickham, because more than likely Stockport will have a better goal difference after this game. Well, maybe not. They could win by 1. But if they score 3 goals, they would have had the difference in goals. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So almost for the league to end mad, I want Charlton beat Wrexham and I want Stockport beat Wickham. And that way, going into that last fixture, any of them 4 teams, they could have get that automatic second spot. What a rotted if Charlton work all them way up to second, man. That would have been awesome for the Jamaica side with them over there. One bag of Jamaicans. Yeah, only 2 match left, bro. 2 more weeks and then you're done. Oh, may I talk about the championship and League One done? Not me personally. No man, me can't done. I'm going to try watch that and see if one heel back Dixon in the team. Yo, one heel back Dixon, one turn McGee. That a favorite thing them, eh? Only 2 matches left. Yep, only 2 matches left in these leagues. And then playoffs will start up after that. I want to say the playoffs start like midweek, that same weekend or that next week, like midweek, and then second leg like weekend. I think that they get through it pretty fast. I could be wrong though. Maybe they give you the full week and then they play the second leg in the week. Something like that. But yeah, this could be a mad ending, because we can play Stockport the last day, and Wrexham play Lincoln, Charlton play Burton. So, there's a scenario where Charlton actually get second place, What a thing if Charlton win this game, brother, and Stockport beat Wickham. That would have been mad. Just so the last day can mad like that. But I love for that happen still. And what a thing if Charlton just squeak around and get that automatic in. And I love that for going still. Enough player that for we go up to a higher league. But anyway, people, that is it, man. Just do some last checks on some other league we know we might want to see what's going on in. Have 2 more weeks for them, so we'll check back in next week for the preview show and see where we are. But yeah, I'm telling you, people, if you want a mad ending to League One, just cheer for Charlton beat Wrexham and Stockport beat Wickham. And then that final day going to be crazy in League One, people. Anyway, big up on yourself and thanks so much for tuning in. Got up to about 30 or so people in the chat tonight, so I really do appreciate it. On the Friday, people them took their time away from, most of you guys I know from my Jamaican content and the YouTube space in the Jamaica football, but sometimes you need to clear your mind and talk about something else, you know what I mean? What about Ravel League? Your Ravel side dropped 6 love today, man. Ravel scored 2 goals as well. Boy, I tell you, Greenwood fighting for Champions League spot as well. Yeah, it's a crazy fight in League On. You're damn right about that. Damn, they look like they were nailed on for that second for a while, but brother, man, them go up on a run of form, they were terrible. So them only have a 1 point lead over third and fourth, 2 points over fifth, and of course it's top 4 in France, and really and truly top 3 is automatic, and then 4th place have to qualify. 5th place Europa, 6th place Conference League. So, but they're literally, they got the win last week, which was big, kept them a point ahead of Monaco. But Marseille at this current point do have a game in hand over Nice, who beat PSG today, and they're on 54. So Marseille just need to make sure that them win this weekend. They will have. Who they play? Marseille play one of my favorite teams in Europe, Brest, and yeah, a lot of the challenges around them. Let's see, Marseille play Brest, Lille play Angers, and Monaco plays Le Havre. So yeah, Lyon also around there as well. They're in the Europe, the Conference League spot right now. They play Rennes. So yeah, that's another one to watch. Greenwood in second now. Ideally for them, they would want to stay in second or third and just qualify straight for the league phase of the Champions League. But 4th place, at least they know they can still qualify into the league phase as well. So it's not all lost there. Of course, the Spanish league still a decent gap for Barcelona there, and then the Italian league just got tighter as Inter did drop some points, and also they lost the cup as well, so their psyche is a little bit hurt. They wanted that treble, but they definitely are knocked out of the cup now, and they're also tied at the top of the table with Napoli as it stands. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting, that ending in Italy. Inter play Roma this week and Napoli play Torino. So definitely a tougher fixture for Inter this weekend. As I said, just got knocked out by crosstown rivals AC Milan in the semifinals of the Coppa Italia. So yeah, that is it, people. That is it. We are going to check out now. Yeah, man, the right size breasts, Yeah, the right size of the club, Greenwood, he unhappy. I don't know if he's unhappy. He loves the club, but the coach, I wouldn't even say a fight, but the coach heaping expectations upon him. I just think this coach knows that the man is literally has the class to be like one of the best in the entire world, and he just want to make sure he maximize his potential, I don't even think it's like a pick-on thing that he might go on with, to be honest. I know some people disagree and say he might do too much and thing, but I don't mind it, bro. I think Greenwood needs to be challenged. I think he can be better than even what he's doing. Like he can be he has the talent to be one of the best players in the whole world. I don't know if he even realize that. Man, technical ability is different, man. Yeah, I think he's pushing him, bro. Personally. But I hear a lot of people say, of course, and I say, yo, the man I deal with him, son, Ray. But you don't see it that way. I think the man just my place high expectation upon him because he have high expectations for him. Anyway, people, that is it. We could have talked about ball till next year. But man's have to get some rest. As I say, football that in the morning, I have a trek for make. You know, this academy league thing is no joke, people. Some long hours we are drive and thing. But it's all worth it, people. She getting development at a very good rate, playing very good competition. And every time I see her train or do anything with football, I just have to wonder and say, John Star. I can't believe she improved so much, you know. So tomorrow is another day of improvement, people. That's the things we look forward to. So big up. Thanks so much for the support as usual. Gooner's not a game, but it don't matter. At the end of the show, every time, I will tell you these things. My name is Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. Come on, you Gooners.